everyone, this is Peak Entertainment and we are back again, and we're now going to talk about football and this controversy surrounding the European Super League. And when we look at it now, it surely has to be one of the biggest turnarounds within the sport I think I've ever seen in terms of proposals and plans, as it has recently been announced that the 6 initial English clubs that were planning to be part of the huge proposal to break away from the Champions League into an independent Super League has now been withdrawn. So all 6 clubs, the likes of Arsenal, Tottenham, Manchester City, Liverpool, Manchester United and Chelsea, they have all withdrawn from this European Super League overall. And this follows, of course, the big backlash that really the whole football community, from pundits, from clubs to representatives to agents, they essentially all came together really dismissing this initiative. Everybody just saw this as an initiative for the bigger clubs to stay rich and go against the ideas and the real ethos of the competitiveness in terms of football, in order for smaller clubs to have that opportunity to ascend and become bigger clubs. So everybody went against this, and within even less than 48 hours, it seems that everybody has just withdrawn from it. So this announcement came, I think, early on this morning, the 21st of April, early hours in the morning. And when we look at the article overall here from The Guardian, it essentially says that the European Super League was collapsing on Tuesday night after all 6 clubs dramatically signalled their intention to withdraw from the competition after being taken aback by the furious backlash from fans and the government. It left the 4.5 billion league dead in the water less than 48 hours after it was launched, with Chelsea being the first go, followed by Manchester City shortly after 11 p.m, and then Arsenal, Manchester United, Liverpool and Tottenham shortly afterwards. And I said this within my first initial video when I covered the initial announcement of the Super League, that they were just going to come against too much resistance from people within the football community, and not just fans as well, but people higher up within the footballing hierarchy, and there were too many barriers for them to come through in order to put this proposal in place. So that's why I wasn't quite as outraged as what many people were when this was first announced, because I didn't think this was going to happen in the first place. As I mentioned in my previous video on this subject, we've come across these announcements so many times. We get this every couple of years, that all the top elite clubs threaten to break away and basically operate on their own services, and it never comes to fruition. And a lot of people have stated, which I agree with, this is normally just a negotiation or a scare tactic, I feel, by the bigger clubs, because they're not happy with certain regulations that have been set by FIFA and UEFA, and they put these announcements out there just to kind of threaten them. And really, it's all about a power play, and it becomes political, and it's all about status as well. But it never follows through, because it's not feasible. It's just not feasible for the big clubs to go away and kind of become their own franchise and leave all of the other clubs hanging in the wind as such. You know, football, for all the problems that we see within the sport, it really is a unison in terms of an organisation of a sport. You know, whether it's big clubs or smaller clubs, everybody has to act as one. It can't really function when you have separate factions going off and doing their own thing. It just can't do that in the long term. Everybody has to unite as one. And people have been comparing this to what happened when the Premier League began in its inception, but the difference there, of course, is that the Premier League was still a competitive tournament where any club could go through the ranks, get promoted and become a big club. We saw that with Leicester when they won the league, I think it was 2016, and look at them now, they've been able to become an established force, right? So the opportunity was always there. That opportunity wasn't there with this proposed European Super League overall. So that was the difference in my opinion. So yeah, I'm just not really surprised by this. And we go through this article and we've got various statements from all the chairmen involved. Everybody's just backtracking like crazy. We see the quote here from Tottenham chairman Daniel Levy: "We regret the anxiety and upset caused by the ESL proposal." You know, it's just, and they look ridiculous. All the clubs that signed for this, they look ridiculous now. You know, the fact that they were putting this proposal in place, and it would have taken months. They didn't just do this on a whim. This would have been months of preparation, of coming together in secretive meetings, discussing how they were going to put this in play. And then all it took was basically a day of outrage and vilification from everybody within the football community. And then they've had to walk back on it. So they really now look ridiculous. And I'm pretty sure if they plan to propose another breakaway. Everybody's just not going to take it seriously. The football fans will just pull together, and then it will just get cancelled in the long run. I always questioned how they were going to get the funds for this in this pandemic climate that we are living in, and especially if fans were going to denounce this straight away. So that's why I knew it was never going to happen in the long run. And you had people all over the place from the government. You had Boris Johnson coming out and speaking out against it as well. So yes, it's just a case of, I think, well done to the football community. When push came to shove, they all came together as one, speaking out against this. And I think, just on a slight tangent, I think it's something that boxing fans could really learn of. When we look at boxing, there are so many issues with that sport, and so many fans come out and speaking out what goes on within boxing, in terms of the franchise champions and catch weights and drug tests and missing samples, etc., etc. But when the fights happen, the fans still watch the fights, right? And they still support all of the initiatives that are put in play, right? So when we look at football, when this initiative was put into play, everybody came together. It didn't matter who you were a rival club with. It didn't matter what beefs there were with certain commentators or competing TV broadcasters. When push came to shove and they saw something that was potentially hugely damaging to the sport, everybody came together and united as one and spoke out against this. And look, it got squashed within a day. So that's something I think for boxing fans just to learn about when they speak about all the issues going on with their sport. So that's just a quick tangent on there. But overall, yes, just I think very good that everybody came together, and the clubs, they're not stupid. They saw the backlash. They realised they couldn't really go ahead of this. It just wouldn't be sustainable in the long run. They wouldn't be able to continue with this if fans were constantly speaking out and following through in terms of not supporting this and not watching the matches. That of course would have affected all the potential revenue and profits that they stood to gain from this as well. So yeah, just very good that it's sort of squashed straight away. But I think the overall question now is what will happen in the future. How will clubs really look to get fans back on side? Because fans won't forget about this in a hurry. They're going to remember this regardless of what happens with clubs, regardless of what trophies that they win this season. It will always be in the back of fans' minds that, yeah, there was a point when you planned to break away and really disrupts the whole continuity within the sport itself. So I think the 6 European clubs have got a lot of kind of PR building to do and reconnecting with the fans overall in the long run. So we will see what will happen in terms of that. But overall, just very pleased to see about this news. Happened very early in the morning. So yep, no more European Super League for now, it looks like. So that's good in the long run. And it's good to see that, like I said before, when there was a threat to really disrupt the game as a whole, the footballing community came together as one, united as one, and spoke out against this and got this decision overturned very quickly. So well done to the fans and the football community in the long run, and no more European Super League for now. So those are my quick overall thoughts and feelings on the big 6 clubs within English football withdrawing from the European Super League. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If there are any other big announcements surrounding this, then I will always provide an update as well. So let me know what you think in the comments. But that's it for now. The end of the European Super League. No more. Thank goodness for that. And hopefully now football can go back to being how it should be and work on trying to get fans back into grounds along with the fascinations of the pandemic. And hopefully for the next couple of years we can hopefully see things go back to normal minus this European Super League. So those are my thoughts and feelings. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Please also hit those like and notification and subscription buttons so I can provide you with more high quality content in the long run. But that's it for now. Take care of yourselves, stay at safe distances, and I will see you very, very soon.